The whispering flames of Pink Moon Gulch. In the dusty heart of the Arizona Badlands, where the sun dipped low like a weary prospector and painted the sky in strokes of lavender and rose, there sat a circle that no map could mark. It was the campfire of the Pink Moon Pack, a ragtag band of wolf cowboys whose fur shimmered like sunset silk, all soft pinks and silvers under the gathering dusk. They weren't ordinary wolves, mind you. Legend had it they were born from the blush of a harvest moon, cursed or blessed, depending on who you asked, to walk on two legs, wear Stetsons, and chase horizons instead of rabbits. At the fire's edge, legs crossed like knotted ropes, was Grizzle, the old black-furred timer with eyes like polished obsidian. His coat was the deepest midnight, a stark contrast to his pack-mate's rosy glow, and he wore his hat low, shadowing secrets older than the canyons. Beside him slouched Rusty, the youngest, his pink fur fluffed up like cotton candy, a bandana tied loose around his neck. Rusty fidgeted with a stick, poking at the flames that danced like mischievous sprites, crackling secrets into the cool night air. Then there was Blaze, the fiery one with a scar across his muzzle from a dust-up with a rattler, his hat perched jauntily as he strummed an old guitar strung with coyote gut. Flanking him were Sage and Ember, twin sisters whose fur blended peach and crimson, their holsters empty but their wits sharper than switchblades, and tethered nearby, munching prickly pear, were their faithful steeds, four-legged shadows with manes like woven gold, loyal as the stars. The pack had ridden hard that day, hooves and paws kicking up red dust from the trail out of Tombstone. They weren't outlaws, not exactly, more like wanderers with a code. Protect the forgotten, unravel the riddles of the wild, and never turn your back on a howling wind. But tonight, as the fire popped and the first stars winked like distant campfires, Grizzle's gravelly voice cut through the hush. "Listen up, pups," he rumbled, his black ears twitching. "That ghost light we saw in the gulch ain't no will-o'-the-wisp. It's calling, and if we don't answer, it'll swallow the whole dang territory." Rusty dropped his stick, eyes wide as saucers. "Swallow it? Like a big old snake? But, Gramps, we just want grub and a yarn. Ma's venison stew's getting cold." Blaze chuckled, his fingers pausing on the strings. "Boy's got a point, old man. We've dodged Apaches, armadillos, and that one loco prospector with the gold-plated mule. What's a glow gonna do? Tickle us to death?" Sage leaned forward, her blue eyes narrowing like slits in a saloon door. "Hush, both of you. Grizzle don't spin tales for the spit and polish. Remember the Ruby Ridge? That shimmer led us to the lost silver vein, and near cost Ember her tail." Ember nodded, rubbing the stub where her fluffy end used to swish, a souvenir from a cave-in that still made her yelp in her sleep. The fire seemed to lean in, flames twisting higher, casting long shadows that clawed at the rocks. High above, the sky bled into full night, and there it was again. A pulse of pink light, faint as a miner's lantern, flickering from the jagged mouth of Pink Moon Gulch. It wasn't steady like a firefly's wink. No, it throbbed, slow, insistent, like a heartbeat buried under stone. The horses whinnied, stamping the earth, and even the wind held its breath. Grizzle pulled a weathered map from his vest, yellowed as old teeth. "Marked it here, 30 years back. My pa drew it after the great howl of '55. Says the gulch hides the heartfire, a crystal bigger than a buffalo's skull, forged in the earth's belly, burns pink when it's hungry for stories untold. But something stirred it now. Folks in Tucson whisper of vanishing caravans. Riders turn to dust statues at dawn. If we don't feed it truth, it'll hunger for souls." The pack fell silent, the guitar's last note hanging like smoke. Rusty swallowed hard, his pup ears flapping. Kids back east might scoff at such memories, sipping sodas and picture shows about buckaroos and bank jobs. But out here, where the desert whispered forgotten treaties and the cacti stood sentinel like Apache braves, stories weren't just fun. They were lifelines. Adults knew the weight. The Pink Moon Pack had mended more broken trails than the Pony Express ever carried mail. "All right," Blaze said, finally, holstering his guitar like a six-shooter. "We ride at moonrise. But if it's just a mirage and a mess of scorpions, you're buying the first round of sarsaparilla in Bisbee." Dawn cracked the sky like an egg, yolk yellow spilling over the buttes. The pack saddled up, Rusty riding double with Sage on her mare Juniper, whose coat matched the dawn's first blush. The gulch loomed ahead, a scar in the earth flanked by hoodoos, towering rock spires that looked like petrified teepees, etched with petroglyphs of ancient wolves chasing thunderbirds. As they descended, the air thickened, sweet with creosote and something sharper. Ozone, like lightning's ghost. Halfway down, trouble bayed. A rock slide thundered from the left wall, boulders tumbling like drunk miners. Ambush, Ember yipped, drawing her lasso instead of a gun. The pack's way, binding before breaking. But no riders crested the rim, just shadows elongated and wrong, slinking between the scrub, Rusty's heart hammered. They're coming from the glow, like ink bleeding off a page. Grizzle spurred his stallion, Thunderhoof, forward. Eyes sharp, it's the echo hounds, souls snagged by the heart fire, twisted into hunting packs. They crave the light but can't touch it. We gotta reach the crystal before they drag us under. The chase was a blur of dust and dread. The shadows lunged, formless jaws snapping at stirrups, their howls a chorus of lost echoes. Join us! Shine eternal! Rusty clung to Sage, firing questions like bullets. Why us? Why pink wolves? She grinned fierce, dodging a spectral paw. 'Cause we're the moon's kin, pup, born to balance the dark. They burst into the gulch's belly, a cavern mouth yawning wide. The pink light bloomed brighter, bathing everything in rosy haze. Inside, the air hummed, walls veined with quartz that pulsed like arteries. At the center, cradled in a nest of roots and bones, sat the heart fire, a gem the size of a wagon wheel, facets swirling with trapped auroras, pinks, purples, golds. But it wept. Cracks spiderwebbed its surface, leaking whispers that coiled like smoke. Tales of betrayed miners, orphaned foals, loves lost to the trail. The echo hounds swarmed, solidifying into gaunt wolves with eyes like cracked mirrors. Blaze whirled, guitar swinging like a battle axe, strumming a frantic reel that made the shadows recoil. The music a shield of rhythm against regret, Ember and Sage flanked Grizzle, lassos flying to snare the lead hound, a spectral alpha with fur like frayed burlap. Hold 'em! Grizzle barked, dismounting to approach the crystal. Rusty slid from Juniper, paws trembling on the stone floor. Up close, the heartfire wasn't just pretty, it sang. Images flickered in its depths. A caravan vanishing in '89, swallowed not by bandits but by the gulch's greed, their untold griefs festering like untreated wounds. It's dying, Rusty gasped, starving for the good stuff, the laughs, the loyalties, the what-ifs that keep us going. Grizzle nodded, his black fur aglow. Then we feed it, pack, one truth at a time. He knelt, voice steady as a judge's gavel. I've buried my mate under these stars, but her fire lives in every dawn we chase. The crystal sighed, a crack sealing like healed skin. Blaze stepped up, grinning through grit. I once lost a herd to drought, but found family in the fallout. Another pulse, brighter. Sage and Ember wove their tale together. We tangled with twisters and temptations, but sisters stick, like burrs on a boot. The hounds whimpered, forms fraying. All eyes turned to Rusty. The pup gulped, shadows nipping at his heels. I ran once, from a storm that took our den, thought I was yellow-bellied, but y'all found me, hats high and howls loud. Ain't no lone wolf in this world. His words tumbled out, raw and real, and the heart fire blazed, pink fire roaring up, engulfing the echoes in merciful light. The hounds dissolved, not with snarls, but sighs of release, drifting skyward like dandelion seeds. The crystal mended whole, humming content. The gulch exhaled, winds carrying faint echoes of gratitude. Caravans safe, riders returned, dust statues crumbling to fertile soil.
Blinking into sunlight, horses nickering as if from a long nap. Back at camp that night, fire rebuilt and stew steaming, Rusty poked the flames again. Was it real, Gramps? Or just desert dreamin'? Grizzle ruffled his ears, hat tipping back to show a rare smile. Real as your heartbeat, pup. The wild's full of hungers, some for gold, some for glory. But the deepest, For stories that bind us tighter in rawhide. We fed it ours, and it gave back the light. Blaze struck a chord, sage harmonizing low. The sky unfurled its blanket of stars, pink moon rising fat and forgiving. Kids in schoolhouses would doodle such scenes, dreaming of saddles and secrets. Adults, nursing coffees in diners, would nod, knowing the frontier's true treasure ain't buried, but shared around the fire. And so the Pink Moon pack rode on, whispers trailing their dust, guardians of gulches, weavers of wonders, forever chasing that next heartbeat in the haze.